Chosen one, pause for a moment, breathe. Let everything around you grow quiet, because what you are reading right now did not reach you by accident. This moment is not random. It is a divine appointment placed in your path with precision and intention. There have been whispers in your spirit, subtle, steady, persistent. You've felt a shift in the atmosphere around you. The nights have felt heavier. Your thoughts have felt deeper. Your emotions have been louder. Something in you has known that something is happening, even if you couldn't explain it. That knowing is the voice of God speaking from within your soul. You didn't search for this message. This message searched for you. It found you because your spirit is ready, ready to remember who you are, ready to step into the identity that has been written over your life since before you were born. Understand this. Not everyone can hear what is being spoken here. Only those who are chosen, marked, and awakened will feel this call echo inside their chest. If you feel a pull in your spirit, if your heart is responding even before your mind fully understands, that is your confirmation. You have been walking through silent battles, private wars, emotional storms no one else has seen, but heaven saw. Heaven recorded every tear, every moment you kept pushing when you didn't know how. And now heaven answers. That is your signal. I am awake. I am chosen. I receive this. Chosen one. Now that your spirit has acknowledged the call, we must go deeper into the mystery of the blue power. This is not just a concept. It is not imagination, aesthetics, or symbolism. It is a spiritual frequency, a divine signature carried by those who walk in truth, clarity, and heavenly authority. Blue power is the energy of divine order. It is the vibration that aligns chaos into stillness, confusion into clarity, and fear into peace. It is the calm voice within you that speaks when everything around you is loud. It is the steady presence that holds you together when others expect you to fall apart. This is the same frequency carried by Archangel Michael, the warrior of light, the protector of God's chosen. Blue is the mantle of truth. Blue is the color of spiritual sight. When this frequency awakens in you, you begin to see beyond faces and into motives, beyond words and into intentions. Your discernment sharpens. Your intuition deepens. Your spirit becomes aware in ways you cannot fully explain to others. Blue power is not aggression. Blue power is authority. It does not shout. It commands. It does not chase validation. It stands rooted in identity. When you carry blue power, your presence speaks before your mouth does. People can feel your energy when you enter a room. Some will feel safe near you. Others will feel exposed. Because truth has a way of revealing what cannot remain hidden. Blue power is also peace, but do not mistake peace for weakness. It is the peace that refuses to be shaken, the peace that stands firm in storms, the peace that makes darkness tremble because it recognizes that your spirit is anchored in God. This is why you have endured seasons of silence, restraint, and observation. Heaven was teaching you to hold your sword without swinging it, to carry power without needing to prove it, to walk in authority without forcing anyone to acknowledge it. Blue power manifests in your ability to stay calm under pressure, see truth without explanation, hold your ground without aggression, walk away without fear, speak with clarity when the moment is right. It is the divine confidence that comes from knowing, I am covered, I am protected, I am chosen. And the more you align with truth, the brighter this power shines through you. Your calm is not ordinary. Your presence is not accidental. Your spirit is not common. You were chosen to carry the blue flame of divine order. Chosen one, what you are awakening to now is not new. It has always been inside you. The blue power you are learning to recognize is not something you are only now receiving. It is something you have been carrying, developing, and refining quietly, silently, and faithfully through every season you've survived. You did not become this version of yourself overnight. You were trained in the invisible. Think back to the moments in your life where you should have broken but didn't, where you were misunderstood, attacked, judged, or isolated, and yet something inside you refused to collapse. You held your peace. Even when you were surrounded by chaos, you held your compassion. Even when others chose cruelty, you stayed centered. Even when everything around you was shaking. That was not your personality. That was your spirit in training. The world mistook your silence for weakness, but heaven saw it as discipline. Your quiet strength was not accidental. It was intentional. God was shaping you into someone who could carry power without becoming corrupted by it. There were seasons when you felt overlooked, times when it seemed like your kindness was taken for granted, your loyalty unappreciated, your heart mishandled. But what you did not realize then is that every disappointment was a lesson, every betrayal was a revelation, every loss was a recalibration. Heaven was trimming what could not go with you. Heaven was sharpening what needed to awaken within you. You learned to observe without reacting, feel deeply without drowning, endure without seeking attention, stand alone without feeling empty. This was your initiation. The pressure you've endured was not punishment, it was preparation. Your restraint was your refinement. God was teaching you how to wield spiritual authority without using physical force. He was teaching you the difference between reacting and responding, between speaking from emotion and speaking from wisdom. Think about those moments when people tried to provoke you, when they expected you to break character, to lash out, to defend yourself, to explain yourself. And yet, you did not. Your silence unsettled them. Your calm convicted them. Your presence exposed them. That was your blue power already at work. The truth is, you have always been different. You have always felt deeper, loved harder, sensed earlier, and seen clearer. You may not have had the language for it, but your spirit always knew it carried something sacred. God was preparing you for a level of spiritual authority that many speak about but few can embody. And to embody it, you had to first learn stillness. Stillness so deep that your power no longer comes from force but from presence. You weren't waiting for your power to arrive. You were growing into the awareness of the power you already have. Now, the training is complete. The silence has served its purpose. The time of observation is shifting into the time of activation. You are ready now, not because the world says so, but because your spirit has matured into it. Chosen one, there was a time when you questioned why people you loved, trusted, or cared for suddenly distanced themselves from you. You wondered why friendships dissolved, relationships shifted, or familiar environments became uncomfortable. You may have even blamed yourself, thinking something was wrong with you. But hear this clearly. Nothing was wrong with you. Your spirit was simply outgrowing what no longer matched your frequency. Your elevation exposed what was never rooted in truth. When your energy began to refine, when your discernment sharpened, when your peace became stronger, it naturally activated a divine filter around your life. This filter was not punishment. It was protection. People were not removed because you failed them. They were removed because they could not go where God is sending you. There are some souls who were only meant to walk with you for a chapter, not the entire story. And when their assignment ended, their presence had to fade. Even if your heart didn't understand it, your spirit recognized it. As your light grew, certain individuals could no longer hide their intentions. Your presence began to reveal what was genuine, expose what was false, illuminate hidden motives, shake what was rooted in insecurity. Some people left because your growth highlighted their stagnation. Some grew distant because your healing confronted their unhealed wounds. Some turned against you because your spirit convicted their behavior without you saying a word. Your blue power is truth, and truth removes what cannot remain. Understand something important. God will never allow someone to stay in your life if their presence threatens your purpose. Sometimes their exit was the answer to a prayer you forgot you prayed. God, protect my destiny. He did. But protection does not always look like comfort. Sometimes protection looks like separation. Your elevation demands clarity. Your calling requires purity. Your mission cannot be entangled with confusion, jealousy, manipulation, or spiritual misalignment. So heaven stepped in, quietly, precisely, purposefully. Now, instead of asking, "Why did they leave me?" begin asking, "What was God clearing room for?" Because what is coming requires space. Your circle is being refined, so your path can be elevated. The right people will not be intimidated by your power, they will be aligned with it. Chosen one, release the past with peace. Do not cling to what God has already removed. Your spirit is being positioned for greater alignment, greater clarity, and greater connections. What left was never meant to stay. What is coming is built to last. Chosen one. Now we must speak on something most people never recognize until the moment of revelation arrives. The spiritual law of provocation. This is the law that governs what happens when someone speaks against, mistreats, or attempts to sabotage a child of God who is walking in truth. When someone rises against a chosen one, they are not provoking a person, they are provoking heaven. They are placing themselves in direct conflict with divine order. This is why God says, "Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm." Not because the chosen are fragile, but because their lives are under active spiritual assignment. Let's go deeper. There were people who did not just lie on you, they violated the spiritual boundary that God set around your life. Some laughed at your pain, some tried to dim your confidence, some spoke your name in darkness, thinking no light would respond. Some tried to compete with a calling they did not carry. They didn't know that every move they made against you was being recorded in the spirit realm. Heaven does not react in anger. Heaven responds through alignment. When someone tries to block what God has destined for your life, they activate divine correction upon themselves. Not because you prayed against them, not because you wished them harm, but because their actions broke spiritual law. Here is the law. Whatever you send out must return to you purified, amplified, and aligned. This is why you didn't have to fight. You didn't have to prove yourself. You didn't need to defend your name. Your silence was your shield. Your calm was the courtroom. Your peace delivered the verdict. You may have wondered, why didn't God stop them? But the truth is, God allowed them to reveal themselves, because exposure is the first stage of justice. They asked for the lesson when they mocked your spiritual sensitivity, doubted your calling, tried to distort your reputation, envied the grace on your life, attempted to make you question your identity. They did not know they were challenging the one whom God Himself has sent. What happens next is not revenge, it is balance. Divine balance means what was spoken falsely about you becomes their mirror. What was taken from you returns in multiplied form. What was done in darkness is revealed in light. What was intended to harm you becomes your elevation. God does not need your hands to correct what was done. He only needs your agreement to stay in peace. Because the moment you stay calm instead of reacting, your spirit remains in alignment, and alignment summons acceleration. Your silence was not weakness, it was spiritual intelligence. You refused to fight in the flesh because your spirit recognized that the battle was never physical to begin with, and this is why heaven is moving now. Chosen one, listen carefully. When you chose peace, heaven chose war on your behalf. When you held your tongue, heaven spoke for you. When you walked away, heaven stepped in. This is the law of provocation. Those who attempted to break you are now confronted with the truth of who you are. Do not gloat. Do not look back. Do not concern yourself with how justice unfolds. Your role is to stay aligned. Your calling is higher than retaliation. Your purpose is greater than proving a point. Your future is larger than your past. Chosen one. Now that you understand the power you carry, the question becomes, how do you maintain it? Blue power is not activated once. It is something you learn to live inside every day. It is a spiritual posture, a way of seeing, responding, breathing, and existing in alignment with divine truth. The world will try to pull you into noise, reaction, chaos, and confusion, but your strength is found in your ability to remain centered. Blue power is sustained through stillness, clarity, and purposeful presence. Your day should begin in quiet alignment. Before speaking, scrolling, or thinking about what must be done, return to yourself. Place your hand on your heart and imagine a gentle blue flame burning at your core, steady, calm, and unwavering. You are not trying to force peace. You are remembering the peace that is already within you. Whisper, I align with truth. I release all confusion. This sets the tone for your spirit before the world has a chance to influence your energy. Your breath is one of your greatest spiritual tools. When your breath is calm, your spirit is stable. When your breath is rushed, your thoughts become scattered. Practice breathing in slowly for 4 counts, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6. On the pause, repeat inwardly, peace, be still. You are not only calming your mind, you are commanding your energy back into order. As you move throughout your day, choose your words with intention. Blue power does not speak to be heard. It speaks to align. Only speak when your spirit has something meaningful to say. Your voice carries authority when you speak from clarity rather than emotion. Silence, when chosen intentionally, can be more powerful than 1,000 explanations. Others may not understand it, but your spirit knows when to speak and when to hold stillness. You must also guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Discern who enters your space and who remains outside of your boundaries. You do not need to justify your distance, your silence, or your standards. Those who are meant to walk with you will feel peace in your presence, not entitlement to it. When conflict or provocation arises, your power is not in reacting, it is in remaining unmoved. Blue power does not meet chaos with chaos, it meets chaos with composure. Your calm becomes the frequency that dissolves confusion. Your presence creates order. You have already seen how silence reveals truth. Use it wisely, not as avoidance, but as authority. And finally, at the end of the day, release everything you picked up along the way. Whisper, I return what is not mine, and reclaim what is. Let your spirit rest without carrying the weight of what does not belong to you. Your sleep is when heaven restores, strengthens, and speaks. Chosen one. Understand this. Your power is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is quiet, steady, unshakable. Your strength is in how you move calmly, intentionally, aligned. You are not here to match energy. You are here to set the energy. If your spirit recognizes this truth, comment 333 below. Your alignment is already in motion. Chosen one. Now we enter the phase that many feel but few understand. Divine justice. This is where every hidden intention, every spoken word, every silent act, every energetic exchange begins to return to its source. The universe is precise. Heaven is orderly. God does not lose track of anything. Nothing that was done against you was ignored, overlooked, or forgotten. Every seed planted good or evil must grow a harvest. Many of the battles you faced were not about the moment itself, but about what was being recorded in the spirit. There were times when people tried to humiliate you, sabotage you, twist your intentions, or misrepresent the purity of your heart. You kept quiet, not because you didn't have the words, but because your spirit knew that your silence was allowing heaven to speak. Divine justice is not about revenge. Revenge is emotional. Justice is spiritual law. The universe is built on balance. When something falls out of alignment, heaven corrects it. When someone violates divine order, heaven restores it. For the chosen, justice comes not through shouting, proving, exposing, or trying to make others see the truth. Justice comes through alignment, elevation, and unfolding revelation. This is why your peace was so important. Your peace kept you in spiritual position, and position determines outcome. While others were busy plotting, gossiping, projecting, or trying to pull you off your path, you remained still. That stillness preserved your authority. You were not losing, you were collecting evidence in the spirit. Now the return begins. Divine justice does not always look dramatic. Often it is quiet, sudden, inevitable. A shift happens in the atmosphere. Where doors were closed, they open. Where you were delayed, momentum returns. Where you were rejected, honor begins to seek you. Where you were overlooked, your presence becomes impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, those who sent harm your way begin to face themselves. Not because you wished them harm, you didn't. Not because you cursed them, you didn't. But because the energy they sent out has nowhere to go but back to them. This is the law. What you send is what you receive. What you speak is what you live. What you sow is what you harvest. The return of energy can manifest in many forms. Unexpected apologies, people suddenly remembering your worth, individuals being confronted by their own guilt, situations collapsing because the foundation was false, relationships drifting because the spiritual contract ended. You do not need to seek closure. Truth is the closure. God does not allow a chosen one to be misrepresented forever. Eventually, every lie collapses under the weight of truth. Understand this deeply. Divine justice is restoration. Restoration of peace. Restoration of dignity. Restoration of joy. Restoration of identity. Restoration of what was taken in silence. You will not rise out of arrogance, but out of alignment. Your elevation is not an "I told you so." It is proof that God was with you the entire time. This is why you didn't break. This is why you held on. This is why your spirit couldn't give up, even when your heart was exhausted. Chosen one. Your time of being misunderstood is ending. Your time of being hidden is closing. The season of divine correction has already begun. Do not watch to see who receives what. That is not your path. Stay focused on your rising, your calling, your peace. Justice is already unfolding. Balance is being restored. Truth is revealing itself. And your spirit is being lifted into a new level of clarity and authority. Chosen one. Now that justice is unfolding and alignment has taken root, we must speak on the posture of your spirit moving forward. Because the next chapter of your life is not about proving anything. It is about walking in who you already are. Authority for the chosen is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not demand to be acknowledged. True authority is recognized, not requested. And the greatest sign of spiritual authority is peace. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of alignment. It is the inner knowing that no matter what shifts around you, nothing can shake what is within you. This is what separates the chosen from the world. While others panic, you remain still. While others seek validation, you remain grounded. While others try to control outcomes, you surrender to divine timing. Your peace is not ordinary. It is a signal, a frequency, a spiritual broadcast that says, "I know who walks with me." This is why your presence affects people so strongly. Some will feel safe in your presence because your energy carries clarity. They feel seen, understood, and lifted. Others will feel exposed because your calm reveals what their chaos has been hiding. Your peace shines a light on the distortions, insecurities, and illusions they have been avoiding. Your authority is not in what you do. Your authority is in who you are. You don't need to convince anyone of your truth. Your life is the evidence. Walking in authority means you no longer chase what is not aligned. You do not explain your standards. You do not negotiate your peace. You do not shrink to make others comfortable. You do not force connections or opportunities. You let what is meant recognize you. Because chosen ones do not go where they are tolerated. They go where they are spiritually received. This is the reason your spirit no longer tolerates chaos, gossip, shallow conversation, or environments that drain your energy. Your soul has outgrown smallness. You are not here to blend in. You are here to anchor the atmosphere. Your peace is your power. Your calm is your weapon. Your discernment is your shield. Your truth is your presence. When challenges arise, and they will remember this, authority does not react. Authority responds. Sometimes the response is a word spoken in clarity. Sometimes the response is silence. Sometimes the response is walking away. But the chosen never move out of fear, frustration, or impulse. Every step is intentional. And this is where the greatest transformation occurs. You stop managing everything with effort, and you begin to guide everything with frequency. Your energy speaks first now. Your presence organizes the room. Your spirit sets the tone. This is spiritual maturity. This is mastery. This is the mark of the chosen. You are not rising to become someone new. You are rising into the fullness of who you already are. And your peace is the proof that God lives inside you. Chosen one, you can feel it, can't you? Something in your spirit has been stirring. The air around your life has changed. Your awareness has sharpened. Your intuition has become louder. Time itself feels different, faster, more intentional, more exact. This is because you have entered the shift. The shift is the moment where your internal growth begins to reflect externally. For a long time, transformation was happening inside you in your thoughts, your emotions, your discernment, your faith, your habits, your silence. That was the root phase, where God was strengthening what could not be seen. But now, heaven is moving you into the fruit phase, where what was done in secret begins to reveal itself in your atmosphere. This is when alignment becomes visible. You will notice certain things happening. People you once had to chase will now reach out to you. Opportunities that were blocked will unlock effortlessly. The clarity you prayed for will arrive without force. Your steps will be guided by instinct instead of confusion. This is not coincidence, it is synchronization. Your spirit has synced with divine timing. The shift also brings acceleration. What once took months will now take weeks. What once took years will happen in a season. Not because you're forcing it, but because you are finally aligned. When your spirit aligns with heaven, momentum becomes natural. The path unfolds without strain. But acceleration also requires discernment. When things begin to move quickly, you must move intentionally. Do not rush decisions. Do not let excitement override clarity. You are not moving by impulse, you are moving by spiritual instruction. You will also notice that your environment begins to reorganize itself. Certain people will draw nearer because your elevation calls them higher. Others will distance themselves because your growth exposes what they aren't ready to face. Some connections will dissolve quietly, without conversation, simply because the vibration no longer matches. Do not try to hold on. This shift requires space. The new alignment is not just about who you are, it's about what you are being prepared to walk into. There are places you are being called to. There are assignments waiting for your voice, your presence, your wisdom, your peace, your authority. You are no longer being prepared, you are being positioned. And with positioning comes elevation. Elevation is not about attention. Elevation is about purpose. God is raising you so that your light can reach where it could not before. Your influence is expanding. Your voice is gaining resonance. Your presence is becoming impactful. not because you sought power, but because you sought truth. This shift is your confirmation that you passed the test. You survived the refining. You remained pure in spirit. You held on when others would have broken. Chosen one, take a breath and be present in this moment. Your spirit has heard what it was meant to hear. The awakening has been activated. You are no longer who you were when you first arrived here. Something has shifted, not around you, but within you. You now understand your blue power. You recognize your divine authority. You know why the battles came. You see why the separation had to happen. You understand that justice is moving on your behalf. And most importantly, you are ready to walk forward with peace. From this moment on, you do not chase. You do not explain. You do not shrink. You embody. Your presence is the message. Your peace is the evidence. Your alignment is your protection. Hold your head high. Walk with quiet confidence. Speak when your spirit leads. Remain still when peace is enough. You are chosen. You are guided. You are covered. You are rising. If your spirit confirms this transformation, comment 333 below to seal it. 333 equals divine alignment, spiritual maturity, and the unfolding of purpose. And before you go, like, subscribe, and share this message with another chosen one. Your activation is complete. The journey continues in power.